Hello and welcome back. For our next few episodes, we are running a series called the Blueberry Billionaires Club. This series is all about a merge between health and wealth, so stick around if you want to get healthy and wealthy together. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you think anyone you know might like this series. Okay, so let's get straight into it. What does it mean to live a blueberry billionaire lifestyle? So it's not just about money in the bank, it is abundance in every area of life, including health, wellness, beauty, relationships, and financial freedom, all rolled into one juicy, sweet package. If you see me reading from my iPad, I am creating a blog that I like to spend this time here reading with you and sharing some of my private experiences along the way. If you're new here, My Green Balance has a very strong foundation servicing high net worth individuals and billionaires. And there are a lot of cool tips and techniques I've learned along the way that I like to share with my group. Because if you're ambitious and you have big goals, it does help to align with people who are similar in values and also mindset. Today we're diving into the three foundations of this lifestyle. The first one is mindset. The second is money, and the third is morning routines. I might hint at a few communication methods that I've seen as a theme throughout the past decade or so that will be helpful for you if you are wishing to align your mindset with the mindset of the top billionaires in the world. So the billionaire brain is really about how can we pay for convenience, limiting stress, limiting problems, and if there's anything stressful, we pay to get rid of it. And that includes setting up systems that work for you and your lifestyle to make everything a lot more seamless and smooth. When it comes to processes and systems, it really is quite strategic of how everything flows around someone's lifestyle. It's about clarity and creativity. For example, the best mindset tips I've learned along the way include that if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. And many people may think that, billionaires have very strong boundaries, which of course they would. But their time and energy is so precious that what they give their attention to is either really important or they prefer to ignore that. Let's say, for example, in a calendar, you're booked and busy, but you will schedule in things that are priority for you and that are meaningful to your personal journey with regards to family, downtime, fitness, routines, travel, and it's a hard no most of the time if anything tries to infiltrate that strong boundary. Mindset is all about there's no is not really an answer. We don't hear that much. So it's always, well, how can we get that to a yes? And these are more aligned with the kind of questions we ask whenever people are faced with the answer being no. When it comes to money, the way that the mindset works around money, assets, investments, savings, liquid assets or illiquid assets, there is a quite clear contrast in how everything gets stored in safe places to avoid frivolous distractions or any sort of intruder that might try to come between a long-standing process and system of trust funds, properties. I guess succession can fall into that, and also inheritances. it's all about building the right income stream. So most billionaires may have like 8 income streams so that their portfolio is always diversified and there's always work to be done. A lot of that work, you may notice, they are very keen on reading and making time for inner growth. It's interesting because there is a range of billionaires I've come across in my green balance. And it could be construction type, cash flow, and then it could be the tech type, super bright, super intelligent. It could be the oil and gas type, which are very much invested into land and great family life. It could be, those are like the main themes I've seen. If there's also like hardwares and mechanics and more earthy materials, distribution, sales, retail, that sort of thing. I haven't come across too many of these, more so than the previous. And when it comes to how money is spent or how it's thought of, for example, in a situation where there's a decision to be made, like if I'm going to spend money, they might say, I would rather spend it in a way that's peaceful, enjoyable, and I would rather pay extra for privacy, convenience, and speed so that I don't have any friction or anything that's going to annoy my experience of how I want to spend my money. Which is a complete contrast of maybe a millionaire or a different level of wealth that does not understand why would you pay so much for that, for example. Whereas that peace and quiet is so precious in a billionaire space that it's worth every dollar that they pay for, versus that might be too expensive. What I've noticed as well with the contrast is that billionaires prioritize peace and properties that align with peaceful living. Millionaires do prefer like views and a little more of a wilder type lifestyle. And there is definitely a stark contrast between the quality of life experiences desired to be had, but also maybe even appreciated. Diet is a huge role in this too, because when it comes to spending on health, a billionaire is like, I'll buy all the superfoods, I will have a home gym, I want all the best coaches, masseuse, therapists, and staff at my service. Whereas on the flip side, a normal wealthy person might say, well, buying protein powder is too expensive, or spending that money on healthy food is too expensive, or might prioritize a little more material wealth than health wealth. And let's say you are overweight and you want to lose weight, but you would rather buy handbags or shoes or cars, and you think investing into your health is too expensive. And I have this chat all the time, but a billionaire is never going to say investing into health is too expensive, because that's actually their priority. Because physical health is what is a priority to fuel the body to keep going, to preserve that wealth and take it even further. So when it comes to a diet, it's really interesting because you'd rather pay for quality and convenience. And when you go out, you have a certain standard that you expect because you're accustomed to it. And anything that deviates from that standard, it's very noticeable. Or like, let's say you're dining out and you go out for an experience and you might feel like, okay, well, is this wine paired well with this meal? And do they understand how to communicate on a service level for the experience to be rated a 5-star experience? On the flip side, if you just go out and, you know, the wine doesn't match the food, like these are the little things that annoy people, right? So if you are ever entertaining a billionaire, you know that their problems are different kinds of problems, and it's very high level problems that are solvable. Those are the kind of problems I prefer to solve and help solve because I can, and because you can speak something and everything could be put in place a lot quicker than, say, a stubborn sort of experience where it's a lot of no and resistance, and have to fight for them to see the perspective of why it's a better deal for this experience, in contrast to an experience where someone might prefer to go out and just eat a burger and fries at a pub. For example, there are some billionaires that do still like their McDonald's and their Burger King, and they keep their very humble, not healthy diet. And so far, their medical records are not showing anything too drastic. But we have seen from a lot of the research that it does seem that choosing the healthier way does have benefits when it comes to anti-aging, life experience, and overall fulfillment. Number 3, morning routines. Billionaires are very strict with their morning routines, and these are non-negotiables. Many of them are up at 5 or even 4 a.m., starting their day working out, hydrating, taking supplements, and maybe doing some mindset work, meditations, and so forth, getting ready for the day. Then they, get ready for the day, prioritize time with their family, and then go to work. They work straight through, and they have a lot of healthy habits when it comes to managing their family life as a priority, because many do care of having a long, strong, lasting marriage and relationship, and in having solid investments to pass down to the next generations. So the way that they start their day does shape everything, and there is a process, and I would say even a recipe for being able to show up in that space of being energized and focused, especially because many people will rely on them and demand of their time and energy. So it has to be a very strict schedule to allow for each compartmentalized part of their life to cohesively exist simultaneously at the same time. I'll share some of my own rituals that I like to include, because the theme is blueberries, and I love blueberry rich smoothies because they have so many antioxidants that help to fight cancer and boost cognitive brain function, and also goal setting. I love these chats because sprinkling in little billionaire habits never hurt anybody, because we could all do better with our habits as a human. Whether you set your goals as big as billionaires to the moon, or you're just trying to make your next million, or just make more millions than you did last year, or if you're not a millionaire yet, you want to get there, you can still practice these mindset principles to allow you space to grow into for a healthier future. By the end of this series, you will know why being a blueberry billionaire is about living sweet, peaceful, calm, smart, and living strong. Okay, so my favorite blueberry recipes include blueberry smoothie. I put my protein powder in it. Sometimes I'll do collagen. All billionaires love collagen. Their diet is like new food every day. They don't want to meal prep. The staff are cooking fresh meals all the time, so it's never even a consideration of meal prep or leftovers. It's like, don't even ask. And I personally love collagen. We all love collagen because I love health, but collagen is usually one of those main ingredients that you will see in most billionaires' like supplement cabinet. And also we got smoothie bowls, juicing. Many billionaires like to practice like yoga, Pilates, golf, horseback riding, and tennis, luxury sports. Sailing is also pretty high up there. We come from a big sailing family, so we're accustomed to traveling, growing up to different regattas and Lake St. Moritz and Switzerland, to South Americas, to, all over the world, right? And you get to learn and meet so many wonderful people along the way in these journeys, which is very refreshing and lovely. And diet is always a key component, because whether you're an athlete or you are a business athlete, you're always looking for food to eat that your family will love and enjoy. And blueberries is just one of those staples that everybody loves and enjoys. Frozen blueberries is like little candy, is always a nice treat. So we love that. And anything blueberry flavored is usually quite enjoyable. Some people like to put a few blueberries in a salad. Personally, I don't like to mix my fruit with like chicken and protein, so I don't like to put blueberries in a salad or have it after a meal for dessert. I personally recommend doing food combining practices where you eat all your fruits first thing in the morning. But many billionaires, they have to eat dessert, and they will eat 3 to 5 course meals, and that's just the standard. So it must include something healthy. People are leaning a lot more into gluten-free, dairy-free lifestyles living, and a lot of more sustainability. You might be surprised that on any yacht or vacation home, the meals are pretty healthy and home cooked for the most part, unless there's ordering in or takeout and whatnot. And the items ordered are usually of top quality and can work for the on-the-go lifestyles. Water is very important too, so you'll notice they have the best waters, and they could range from brands like Icelandic, which is slightly alkaline, one of the best, Evian, Perrier, all those sparkling waters, they love that. And everything has to be filtered and clean. So water is definitely a big, I don't want to say snobby part of the profile, but the same way you might be picky with food, some people are picky with water. And the idea of drinking tap water just is awful. But some who are a little more low-key are totally fine doing tap water. Maybe they might not be as much into health, but the more they learn about health, the more they study the quality of their water when it comes to enjoying. Like once you learn the flavor profile of water, like if you did a water test and you tested like 10 different waters, you will see how different water tastes different, and you can adjust your preferences to suit. But many people have not been educated in water, and to some people all water tastes the same. To me, that's bizarre. I could never think all water tastes the same. I am very picky about water, but I'm grateful and blessed to be having those kind of problems anyway. Okay, so thank you so much for stopping by, where you can get lots of awesome blueberry nuggets along the way. And until our next episode.